Before we begin, thank you very much to Omabat for joining the Patreon campaign. Thank you very much for the contribution. Keeps the channel live, keeps the daily content coming. Thank you everyone for the support. You're why I can continue to do this. I'm going to promote it one more time because this is still a really huge deal to me. So tomorrow, not only is it going to be the 2-year anniversary of daily content, so we're going to do a whole recap video for the craziness that has been the last 2 years, but we're also going to be going to Red Claw's Twitch channel over at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to do a History of Transformers live stream. You can come in, interact with us, ask questions in between sections. Yeah, we're just going to have a fun time talking about the history of this franchise. So, and he's a huge Transformers nerd, so link will be in the description. Please go follow. Please tune in when we go live. I promise it'll be fun. It should be fun, hopefully. All right. We are in News Roundup Day, so we are going to be talking about a lot. There's a lot that has come up in Transformers in the last week. So let us start with the weirdest one of the week, but also kind of the coolest one. The Universal Monster collaboration figures are back. We have Frankenstein redone from the Impactor mold, and he does definitely look interesting. So just like the previous release with Dracula, it is essentially a total retool of Impactor. I think there's still some remaining parts, a little bit more than Dracula had. Nevertheless, extremely extensive retool in order to make him look like the Universal Monster. He looks cool. I mean, these don't really interest me. On a novelty's sake, maybe. I will say I like the Frankenstein better than I like the Dracula. I like the cleverness of this. I like having like the big science-y style electrode thing attached to his arm. I like the ripped details in the sculpting. I love that they sculpted his hands to be down like this, so he can do the Frankenstein kind of walk. Frankenstein's monster. I'm gonna get someone in the comments is gonna correct me before they get to this point. I am aware it is Frankenstein's monster, not Frankenstein, but technically he's called Frankentron. Okay. Okay, so let's confirm this. It's Frankentron. But it's cool. It's a cool addition. I hope they continue this. I said it on Twitter. I'll say it here. If they don't do the Invisible Man from a Mirage mold, they're not doing their job. Just saying. Just saying. This is on my maybe list. Let's move on to some other repaints that we are going to be experiencing over the next few months. Apparently, I assume we are going to anyway. Beast Wars again showed off the official release for the official announcement for their Loyal Showdown pack, Airazor versus Inferno, the last two to complete the Season 1 cast with Beast Wars again repaints. And just like the previous ones, these look spectacular. Inferno doesn't have that purple edition that they did for his Kingdom, or Legacy figure, actually. And he looks a lot more show accurate for it. You got a lot of different details painted in that the original one had to skip. Ant mode looks spot on. Really, really digging this. And then, yeah, Airazor too. Airazor looks phenomenal. Airazor looks absolutely phenomenal. I'm kind of getting tired of them all because I got it because the Studio Series Airazor came out. I skipped that one because I'd already gotten Skywarp. So yeah, the mold's a little bit long in the tooth, but there's some like really good paintwork going on Airazor that I'm really into. Yeah, and the bird mode looking good too. I wish there was a better shot of, like the side, the profile of the Falcon head, because it looks like they put a lot of attention into the paint on there. Okay, I am starting to pre-order these. I finally decided, yes, I want these to be as good as they can be. So I have these on. So I'll probably get this one pre-ordered as well. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing it in hand so we can see comparison shots. That's always the big thing for these repaint packs. If we want another repaint, if you want more for your masterpiece, a Dark of the Moon style Ratchet is going to be on the way in his bright green colors. You can see, yeah, it's just violently green. Violently green. And I love all things green, but this is like an eye-searing green shade. But, you know, that's accurate to how he looked in the movie. That was the color scheme. I'll be honest, I am not familiar with the Masterpiece movie molds, so I don't know if the buzzsaw or the gun are new accessories or not. I suppose I could just look at this and it might actually let me know. As far as I know, it is just a straight up repaint. But yeah, if you're looking for more for your movie collection, there is one more on the way. Just to kind of complete your Dark of the Moon set. If there are people who have Dark of the Moon sets, I don't know. It's your business, not mine. How about another movie repaint? Well, this one actually does have a little bit of retooling, more than it has repaint. So we have an in-hand shot of Novocaine, the repaint of Freezer. If I didn't have to pay attention the way I have to pay attention, I probably would not be able to tell the difference between these two. The only difference really is the damage on the head of Novocaine, which, by the way, is a stupid name. Why did you name a Decepticon after a painkiller? That makes no sense. But point being, this, I really wish they did more. I really wish they did more, because the two, besides the head, like, feel indistinguishable. It's like a very different, slightly different shade of bronze going on. It's boring. Well, I'm not a big fan of the figure in the first place, so this is just kind of like more of the same, just kind of, it continues to be mid. Continues to be mid. For more toy, though, we have the Studio Series Rise of the Beast Nightbird and Mirage in hand with new images. These two still looking good. Yeah, the Mirage looks really, really nice. Now, remember, they were developing this while the movie was going through some design changes, so there are things that are inaccurate. Nothing to really do about that. I absolutely despise the translucent forearm. That makes no sense to me, and I'm just waiting for that whole arm to fail. And yet I'm still going to get the toy because I like the character so much. And then Nightbird, yeah, Nightbird. We've seen a few shots of Nightbird, and she's looking good. Still really like the Porsche mode. They actually did a really nice job on that. Yeah, and yeah, the vehicle modes in this toy line in general have been pretty nice. Like, no real complaints going on here. So yeah, let's fingers crossed. Yeah, you see the comparison between like the Studio Series and the standard, the core series. It's weird to see that the core series is actually larger than the Studio Series, considering there is a $5 difference in their price point. But I am sure the Studio Series is far more complex than the other one was. So I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt on that one. Probably a little bit more articulation, too. The one thing about the Core Series Deluxes is they were articulation limited. So that's probably what the payoff here is. So, no, still looking forward to, at the very least, Mirage. I don't know if I'm doing Nightbird or not, though. If we want a little bit more Studio Series Rise of the Beast, we have in hand for Noah Diaz's power suit figure. Exo-suit, rather. I feel like they just don't know what to do with the core class. I really feel like Studio Series core class exists because of the few examples where it has to exist. You know, it's the only way to do Freezer or like Rumble and Frenzy, etc. But, man, like, this is so dull. I understand wanting to make a figure of his exosuit from the movie. That's a good idea, but man, it just looks boring. He doesn't really transform. He just kind of like straightens up his body, and there's your jet mode. Oh, but if that's too much for you, the jet can be completely dismantled. So you can have him like the wingless look and have him wildly out of scale with your Studio Series figures, and then just have like a jet just laying around. Yeah, you could just have a jet. So he's not even a transformer. He's not even a transformer. He's an action master. He's an action master with a transforming backpack. And a transforming backpack that doesn't even really transform that much. Yeah, I acknowledge that there is like a sect that would want this. I really think this is not the way to have delivered this. I feel like these should have been like just like an accessory figure with Mirage or something. I don't think it was handled well. I don't know. It's another one I'm skipping. It's another core class I'm skipping. Let's go big. How about we go big with Studio Series, and we'll do the in-hand shots for Ultra Magnus, who is looking amazing. So there's some contention to Ultra Magnus because he is going to be Commander class and $90 price point, but he doesn't do anything compared to the previous ones. You know, Motor Master technically had a super mode because you could form like a scrawny Menasor out of him. And he did have a nice base mode, so you actually had extra playability there. And everyone goes nuts over the Armada Optimus. And I will admit, that one's a really, really good toy, too. There's a lot in there for $90. This guy is just going to be $90 because of his size and because of his mass. Because he does look great. He does look really cool. There is some points of concern with him. So here he is next to the Siege version of the mold. And this looks fine. Well, it's the Commander. It's the Kingdom version, but you get it. And this one, like the Kingdom one, still looks fine. And this one, yeah, he looks better. But you can see, like, yeah, you're getting a significantly bigger toy. The thing to point out is how much bulkier he is in all of his components than the standard one was, than the leader class. Here he is next to the Masterpiece. And you can see the profile is way wider on the Commander class than it is on the other versions of Ultra Magnus. To a point where it is actually a little bit bothersome. I'm not sure I like how wide-shouldered that this Magnus is. And this is usually like me who likes broad-shoulder accessory, aesthetic. But this is a little much, maybe. And the difference is going to be stark once I get to another shot. The cab section is removable. It doesn't transform into a robot, but it is removable, so you can actually just drive it independently. It might actually, it looks like the trailer might actually scale with some other figures, although I'm not gonna bank on that. Here was the shot that concerned me. So I will admit, like, there's a lot of hollowness to the Combiner War Ultra Magnus, but I really, really like that Ultra Magnus. I really like that Ultra Magnus. I still have it. Like, the Ultra Magnus toy in my display is this one. It is not the one from, it's not the Kingdom one like it should be. Yeah, this is the picture that kind of gave me pause, because I like this Magnus so much, and this one just kind of seems like it's just going to be a heavier version of the same toy. I mean, it's going to work differently, yeah, but like it's not that much bigger. It's not that much bigger. Like, at that point, I'm just kind of hoping it's more solid and the weight makes up for it. So that kind of gave me a concern. Like, for $90, I really wish it would have been bigger, or maybe a little bit. Well, I was going to say cleaner, but it is actually pretty clean. I will have to wait for better in hand. I might do something I really rarely do anymore, which is watch other people's reviews and see what they think of it before I drop the money on it. All right. Let's get into some other toys. So Super 7 showed off their burning convoy repaint of Optimus Primal's reaction figure. This makes the news for me, even though I hate reaction figures, but I love the idea. I love the idea that they're actually going so obscure with the repaint. There's no one in the U.S. who knows what this is. No casual U.S. fan knows what Burning Convoy is. This is weird. This is a really weird choice, but I appreciate it. So it's a rare time I will give reaction credit for something. But I bring it up now because we also have to go into this to continue your burning red, translucent red collection. So there's a Karatomi Mall exclusive. You buy enough Transformer with them, you get a burning chain claw figure. Which, okay, so if you need a burning red chainsaw for something, okay, not bad. And it's just, they've been doing these little promotional, like, accessory giveaways for a while. I expect they'll do plenty more as time goes on. I just thought it was funny that 2 red repaints got announced by 2 different companies at the same time. Interesting to me. All right, big time now. XM Studios, they were at a toy show in Singapore and showed off 2 brand new statues, Prowl and RC. Both looking exceptionally nice. You can see a lot of extra tech greeble in both of their designs. RC is not going over the top. She just kind of looks like a warrior character, and they didn't cheesecake her. And then Prowl looks about as serious as Prowl has ever done. I'm not sure how I feel about the Riot Shield. That's never really been anything. Prowl's never really been associated with a Riot Shield, outside of maybe his missile launcher in RID 2001. But even that's a little bit of a stretch. I do like how these come with like little statuesque versions of their vehicle modes too, so you get a little bit of their transformation element into it, even though they are just statues. I project these will be expensive. I do not have an exact number on this post, but yeah, statues like this ain't cheap. So this is for you higher end people. If you need something on the middle ground, something that's giving you your quality for your buck, Yolo Park just showed off an upgrade to their AMK Pro Megatron model kit that is coming out. The AMK Pro works kind of the way of the models I showed you on this channel once upon a time, where it's mostly assembled already in the box. You're doing the finishing touches. But this one, it comes with a far more premium paint job. I believe there's an LED gimmick in this one as well for the fusion cannon. The contention to this when they started showing it off was the head sculpt was not the best. I think I pointed that out the first time we actually had a look at it. Well, they heard us, and they decided we're going to fix that. So here we are, a brand new head sculpt for this toy, and my gosh, the difference it makes. It looks so much better than it did. Like, now it looks proper G1 Megatron. Now it looks really, really nice. So, again, I keep saying it every time we bring it up, and it's not just because, you know, they sent me some stuff for review, but it's genuinely, like, Yolo Park seems to be doing amazing work. You know, not only providing stuff pretty low cost for how high quality it is, but also this is not something they had to do, and they went ahead and did it. So I think they deserve credit for that. This is actually really cool for them to do. So looking out for that. Looking out for that one next. If you are in Japan and you're feeling nostalgic, then there is going to be a special airing of the Beast Wars animated movies. Well, there is one animated movie. So there's a few things here. A lot of them are like compilation films or like just normal TV episodes that were aired in theaters. So the only real movie you got here is Lio Convoy in Imminent Danger. That's the one where you saw Optimus Prime will come in. That's where Burning Convoy comes from, and Flash Lio Convoy. And then you have a compilation film that's kind of like a clip show of the first season of Beast Wars Medals, which is just a Bad Spark episode, and then another recap. Again, these were shown in theaters, so all of this is like actual nostalgia thing. And then something called Convoy's Great Transformation, even though this is going to be the episode Cutting Edge. I don't know, Convoy goes through a great transformation in those episodes. I feel like that was Optimal Situation. I feel like they gave the wrong episode title here. But no, they're going to be the event is going to be hosted by Hozumi Goda, who is the voice actor for Lio Convoy, and Japanese toy reviewer Wotapa, who is actually a really, really cool Transformer reviewer, or toy reviewer in general. Yeah, a lot of personality for a Japanese reviewer. So, cool event if you're in Japan and you're feeling nostalgic for some Beast Wars. Okay, if you want to do something here in America, we have the Hall of Fame voting up now. It is very, very limited this year. We aren't even doing like a Legacy G1 character this time. There's only 2 things to vote for. Toy of the Year for Legacy Evolution, a line that is technically not done yet, but you have to vote now. Pick your favorite now. And then your favorite character from Robots in Disguise. You might as well just give it to Skybite right now. You might as well. Which I would be remiss if I wasn't going to mention here that Peter Sellos, the voice actor for Skybite, is currently battling an unexpected cancer diagnosis. There is a GoFundMe up. I will probably have to dig it up and put it in the description below for anyone who wants to pitch in. Peter is, from all accounts, a really cool guy. I will never forget when I did the review of the Generation Skybite, he actually popped into the post I made for it on Facebook to compliment me for the review. And like, that's not something most voice actors do. And it was a super cool moment that he didn't have to do, and he did anyway. So far as I can tell, super cool guy. Really hope that he manages to beat it, and I hope he gets all the support that this fandom can provide. But yeah, I don't doubt his character is going to win this vote. All right, let's move on to happier things. Earthspark's brand new video game Expedition has an official trailer now. It looks very generic, run around, beat 'em up, basic skill tree, basic upgrading. Anytime you do a Transformers game where you only get to play as one character, you already have me concerned. Because that already tells me you didn't really use the franchise the way you should have. The fact that we're getting an Earth... I understand. Doing a Bumblebee-based game, that's the easiest way to sell. But, really? You're not going to let us play as the Maltos? You're not going to let us... even as, side missions? You're not going to let us play as the main characters of Earthspark? I'm not terribly thrilled about this game. I'm not terribly excited for it. It feels like it's just going to be like a budget shovelware title. Maybe like a one step up from shovelware, I should say. And that seems to be the intent, unfortunately. Hasbro put out a bit of a press release thing here. And they said that they view Transformers and G.I. Joe as mid-core video games. Because they did mention they do want to focus more on digital games, and they put Transformers and G.I. Joe in the mid-range. All right, and then things like Monopoly are in the casual, okay, correct, and then D&D and Magic the Gathering on the hardcore side. So, okay, Baldur's Gate 3, which everyone I know is playing. Yeah, I can understand them viewing that as your hardcore gaming title. But man, Transformers has so much potential as a video game that they just don't seem like they want to give a chance to. But they are going to focus a little bit more on digital games. They've opened a new division, Hasbro Retro Arcade, which I assume is going to be similar to that new G.I. Joe beat-em-up that looks very much 90s arcade. I'm going to presume that we're going to get more like that. If we get a Transformers game like that, that actually wouldn't be a terrible thing. That might actually be fun. The bigger concern here that I had in this statement was that the toy, they did make a mention of toys. The company is focused on driving out costs, driving up share, and then driving growth. Driving out costs. We already know how much they are cutting back the budget on a lot of this stuff. The packaging switch was a budget cut that everyone hated, so now that they're going to go back to bubble packaging, that's probably going to mean the product is going to take an impact. I'm expecting the next trilogy of Transformers to be on the cheaper side. Lower paint, lower articulation, that kind of thing. I'm concerned. This statement makes me concerned. But we will see how that goes. Speaking of gaming, one more for you. So that Transformers game controller that we mentioned a while back, we now have a visual example of it. It's hideous. So the one they did for Sonic the Hedgehog kind of gave me hope because it actually looked really cool. They're doing some three-dimensional effect to it. There's a little Sonic the Hedgehog figurine in the handle. For the Transformer controller, you're getting a translucent with a weird battle screen on the backside, like a weird fight screen. I see Starscream in the middle. And then you get just an Optimus Prime head. You don't even get a full little figurine of Optimus Prime. You just get his head. And then over here, you have a painted-on scene with Megatron and Barricade. Why Barricade? And why is it in the authentic style? Why is it the Evergreen Barricade? Why is it Evergreen Megatron? Why are you doing this? Oh, I hate when they do things like this. More to the point, this should be like an Autobot controller. You'd expect Bumblebee and Grimlock on it or something, since it's, red and blue and all that. It's supposed to be Optimus Prime controller. Instead, it just kind of looks like Megatron and Barricade are looking for Prime's severed head. I don't know. I thought this was going to be intriguing. I'm not terribly fond of how it turned out. Oh, well. Such is life. All right, let's move on to other things. I realize I'm saying all right after every statement. I need to fix that. All right, let's get into this. So these are the copper statues they're doing in China. They did wave 1 that covered half of the Rise of the Beast movie, and apparently they're doing the other half now. And you can see them available at multiple sizes. You can see up here, in the kind of middle to the right, you see all the smallest versions. And then you see how they scale as you go through all the different incarnations. I don't know how or what market there is for copper statues of Transformer characters this huge, but apparently there is if they got the second wave announced. So, who knows? I know they're only available in China. I have not seen a single in-hand shot of these. I don't expect to. These are for, like, super high-end collectors in a country that really doesn't share a lot. So, I don't expect to really see what one of these looks like in hand or on display or compared to real toys. It's interesting that they exist, though, and the fact that they're copper statues, I think, is kind of weird and interesting. They all have this, like, ancient look to them as a result. Moving on to more expensive stuff. Alright, so what else can you get if you have way too much money burning a hole in your wallet? Transformers teaming up with Seiko watches to create this high-quality watch based on Optimus Prime's color scheme. You got an Autobot symbol. You got the Matrix of Leadership down there at the bottom. This thing will run you $400 for a watch. And I know there are watch aficionados who watch me, and I didn't mean to make that pun. Don't get angry. I know there are watch aficionados out there who could explain to me why this thing that looks like only slightly better than the thing that I used to wear to school when I was, like 7. Somehow this is better, and it's worth paying what was probably like 20 times the price of what mine cost. I know precision watches and all that, etc., but like seriously, I don't see the appeal of paying $400 just so I don't have to like slightly adjust the second hand on my watch once in a while. I don't know. I just never saw the appeal of something like this. I just never did. It's a light up thing. That's okay. It's got a nice box. It's just the kind of thing I don't get because it's definitely not for me. Let's move on. Emoji Bots showed off their first wave of Transformer plushies, and they do look soft, fluffy, and adorable. So here we see the Optimus Prime. He's just a squishy little bean of a plushie. He's cute. He's about the size of a water bottle. And then you have the Nemesis Prime. Or, not Nemesis, but Shattered Glass. Using the exact same pattern, but they added, like... instead of just having the windows cracked, they added the Band-Aid just to up the cuteness of it. So it just kind of looks like he took a bee sting to the chest. There's Bumblebee. Bumblebee always shocked and surprised at the state of the world. Aren't we all? And he's cute too. Of course he is, because he's Bumblebee. And then there's Cliffjumper. Using a similar pattern, but there is differences between him and Bumblebee, especially in the head. So they're a little bit more unique than you would expect. This plushie company put more effort into switching up the design of Cliffjumper and Bumblebee for their respective plushies than Hasbro has done on some of Cliffjumper's toys. I just want to point that out because I think that's an important thing to realize. But nevertheless, these are Asian exclusive, but who knows? Who knows? As usual, there might be some way of getting a hold of these if you're not in China and Japanese markets. Let's talk fashion. We're going to end this video on a fashion roundup. So, this is from fun.com, who have produced some Transformers-based clothing. This is actually kind of like business casual. Like, this is actually a very professional kind of blazer-looking thing with an inlay that looks like Transformers sigils, Autobot and Decepticon. You see, I assume the Decepticon emblem is on the left arm. So this is actually kind of nice. Like, this is a way of showing off your fandom without actually, like, breaking boardroom attire. Which is actually, like, a cool little thing. If I were to dress up professionally for anything in my life, I might actually do something like this. I might actually be interested in something like this. Yeah, it's actually nice. Yeah, I wish they showed the other sleeve. And then they do the onesies. And this is just pretty much just Halloween costumes at this point. I feel like if you can see the Optimus Prime vehicle slippers too, which is a cute touch. I feel like if I dressed up as Optimus Prime like this and just sat around the house, my girlfriend would never look at me the way she is looking at him ever again. And my girlfriend is a nerd too, but I think this might be a relationship risk. At least they're well detailed. These are done. There's a nice plushie Optimus backpack too. Small, very small storage space, but you know, walk around with an Optimus Prime plush. You can do that now. And then yes, there are the vehicle mode slippers, the truck shoes. Now I did get Fun.com's Mega Man booties, and they're actually very, very nice. Like they're very comfy and cozy. And the temperature where I live needs to come way down before I can actually wear them around for fun. But for now, yeah, I can attest. They actually do some good stuff. There's a Bumblebee backpack plushie too. And then just normal shirts, long sleeve. I think this is the ugly sweater, because they mentioned they were doing an ugly sweater for the holidays. It's not ugly though. It's not ugly. It's fine. But no, like this is not bad. This is not bad. I could actually see someone actually taking and wearing this, and this would actually be really fun. If I had like a professional thing and I still wanted to show what a geek I am, this is exactly what I would go get. And then there's this. So designer Bobby Abley and his company are doing their own Transformers fashion too. They are trying to add drip to Transformers. I don't think it works. This looks so overcomplicated. I can barely tell what is going on. I see Optimus, I see Bumblebee. I have no idea what's happening. In the middle, there's logos and tech detail just floating around. I know a lot of drip does involve a lot of over-detailed designs, but when you're doing it with Transformer designs that are already over-detailed, now you're getting just way too busy. This is the most... I don't know why they went with this. He looks so unhappy to be wearing this. It looks like a quilt. It looks like it's quilted. I don't get it. I really do not understand how anyone thought this would look good. It doesn't look good. You know what he looks like? You know what he looks like? He looks like when you're doing like create a character in a video game and you want to apply some detail, like some decal onto the front of your character, and it just blows the decal into all these different stretch proportions trying to fit the model. It looks weird. It's so bad. It's so bad. And then they do this. I don't understand why Prime is in like prototype colors. I certainly don't know why they put him that close to the crotch when he's doing that pose. Yeah. Okay, this one isn't as bad. This one's a lot more subtle. You know, from a distance, it's just going to look like, you know, the trees, you know, that detail. But up close, you're going to see Bumblebee. I see Ravage in there. I can't tell who that is on the left side. I see a tiny little Unicron. So this is a little bit more subtle. So this is not too bad. Like, this actually kind of works. All right, so yeah, and I'm not a huge fan of gigantic black pockets. That looks super weird. It looks like you had to censor something on the photo. It looks like he accidentally had a profanity or like a naked boob on there or something, and you just had to black it out. And then there's this. And then there's this. He looks like Steve Urkel grown up. He's trying so hard not to just like question his life right now. This looks... I mean, we've had shirts in the past that were like Optimus Prime's the front. You have ones for Soundwave and Hot Rod as well. And those actually kind of make sense as just normal t-shirts. This is a high fashion brand. This is going to be like $100 shirt for no reason. It looks so silly. I don't know. I can't top that. That's why it's in the thumbnail. Can't top this. So... that is the end of a very long news roundup. Like I said, we had a lot to get through this week. Thank you for making it all the way through. I hope it was worth it to see this. And to see this guy who is very desperately questioning his career choices. But as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.
I'm like, I think you guys got this. I will back away, and I will see you all later.
You've got this handled.
Alafi's like, really? You're not gonna help me? Like, it's fine now.
It's like these disgusting creatures breathing down my neck, and you're all just like, I believe in you. You got this. That
All right,
burn.
you seem to have this. 5 minutes.